Well, hello everyone, how you doing? Do you know what gets my goat? Well, just about everything these days, right? There's always someone out there trying to get under your skin or something like that, it seems. And the running joke I have for myself is, when it comes to patience, which I've lost some, well, the truth is, I don't have any patience because I'm not a doctor. If I was a doctor, I'd have more patience. That's a good one, isn't it? Anyway, today's question is, what gets your goat? And like I said, lots of people out there are trying to get your goat. There's always someone out there who's trying to beat you down or beat you senseless and take your control and take your power and undermine your intelligence and all that kind of stuff. And that happened to me this week, and I'll have to be truthful and honest with you. I just needed to talk about it a little bit here on the coffee break. Because when things like that happen and someone gets your goat, there's a good chance that you're going to give it back in spades, as they say. And that isn't always good, is it? Simple communication would be better. But sometimes, because we're human, we don't necessarily respond in the best way. We react and we overreact, and we do things that maybe we're not proud of. Now, I'm not saying that what happened to me this week was a very unproud moment. Sometimes you got to stand up and speak up for yourself and communicate what you're thinking and what you're feeling in order to let the other person or people know what's going on with you. Now, as I've said before, I'm a true believer that you can't ignore what's going on inside you, in your heart and your head and your soul and your spirit. You can't ignore it. You can't bottle it up or you're going to explode. Don't just sweep it under the rug. Acknowledge it, address it, embrace it, accept it a little bit, experience it and feel it, and then proceed to move on from it. That's what I believe. And I'd like to share that with you, of course. So, it's different for different people, and there are many different personalities and what have you. And for me, I know there are certain types of people that really get my goat. And some of those people I would call alpha people, because they don't think twice before they do something. And I'm kind of a middle-of-the-road kind of guy. I'm kind of moderate that way. And I like to make sure that things are peaceful and smoothed out, that we don't have to have a confrontation or a conflict of any kind, that we can move forward in meeting each other halfway. And I think that's a good way to go, don't you? Anyway, that's what I think. But sometimes it doesn't happen that way, and people will get your goat. It happens all the time. Now, for me, I just want to share with you that this week I had a little tiff with someone, and it was over petty nonsense. But I hired someone to come in several weeks ago to help me out because I have construction crews in my house and I'm taking care of a person with Alzheimer's, and there's a lot to deal with. So sometimes you need to bring in some extra help to make life easier and less stressful. But when that person comes along and they are very opinionated and controlling and kind of bossy, and they're telling you what to do when you're asking for them to help you, then sometimes that can, cause friction. So that's what happened this week, and it was really over nothing. And it was over a question of where is this product located, and I went ahead and explained that situation out clearly on where it's located and why it's located there and why I put it away when they had it on the counter to begin with. And it turned into a little bit of a mess, and it struck me, it got me in my craw, as they say, and I just blurted out that I was upset. This was very upsetting that we were going this far over something that didn't really matter anyway. But when someone pushes you and pushes you and pushes you, sometimes you're going to come out fighting a little bit. And that's what it felt like. So that got my goat. So I've been trying to keep some peaceful distance professionally ever since, just to make things smooth out, But it brought me to thinking this week that I need to bring it up on the coffee break here, talk it out and think out loud and express that, hey, we're all dealing with all kinds of issues right now and things are getting our goats. And I think it's important for us to recognize when it happens and to recognize our own human fragility and acknowledge that so that we can stop, pause, breathe a second, and figure out a good solution for everybody. And you know, when there's so many elements out there working so hard to beat you down and beat you senseless, so to speak, you have to slow down, take a moment, and say, what's going on here? And I think that not everything that happens out there in the real world, or the big world of funny business, as I like to call it, is intentional or deliberate, but sometimes it is. And we just have to understand that what we do and what we don't do and what we say and what we don't say has an impact in some way or other on other people. And people are watching us all the time, so they might glean something from us by the way we behave, by the way we speak, or when we don't do anything at all. And we're going through a lot of situations right now where we need to address how we feel about things and put it right out there in as peaceful a way as possible and as a non-confrontational way as possible, but also stand our ground. That's what I believe my freedom is all about here in this country anyway. It's just my ability to make some decisions for myself and be able to move forward as a result of that without any roadblocks telling me I can't, you shouldn't, you ought not to, you need to do this and you need to do that. We have a lot of that already just with standard procedural guidelines on going to work or dealing with different kinds of things like taxes, and you have to do it at a certain time, and you have to file here, and you have to claim this, and you have to claim that, and you have to get your insurance, and you know, and it's very stressful. All of this responsibility that we have all had over the last 50 years as we have progressed with technological advances and what have you is very stressful on us. And we're trying to find ways, or I'm trying to find ways to chill out from it. And I read something this week that I thought was a really good phrase to share with you in reference to this video vlog about what gets your goat. And that is, inner peace is the new success. Let me repeat that. Inner peace is the new success. How you get there depends on you and how you look at things. Because there's always going to be someone out there who wants to get your goat. There's some people who really do want to get your goat, or they don't care enough to, you know, communicate clearly and respectfully. Okay, I had to pause there for a second because someone just came out to get in their car, and as you can see, I've been recording right here in our parking garage. But I figure, hey, I've been recording all over the place. Why not the parking garage, right? Anyway, I had to let them get out of the garage before I continued with this video vlog, which I'm almost done anyway. I think our time together is almost that time, you know, about the same time as a regular coffee break. Anyway, so that's a lot to talk about today, but I did want to talk about these experiences that we all have from time to time, or even from day to day. There's always something coming at you, right? And someone coming at you for some reason. And it isn't always good, but sometimes it isn't necessarily bad. It's just about being clear and communicating what's going on. And so no matter what's going on, when it comes to the idea of allowing someone to get your goat, you don't want to do that. You don't want to let them have the ability to take away your power as a human being. You don't want them to take away your vigor, your vitality, your wherewithal, you know, who you are, your sensibilities. You don't want that to be intruded upon. Nobody does. And that's what some portion of freedom is all about, is being mindful and respectful of other people and what they're thinking, and the fact that there are a multitude of perspectives out there, and they're based on personal interpretation. So things are open to interpretation and misinterpretation all the time. And that's where we're at in our country and in our world, I think, because so many things are so available to us and we're overstimulated by what's going on here and there or what's being reported. And we don't know necessarily all the time what's true and what's not true, you know, what's fake and what isn't fake. And I think that's a conflict for some people, a lot of people actually, because you hear it all the time on social media and in the news. People are just acting out. And when people act out, and this is where I want to address my human fragility, is that I felt I acted out the other day when I had this tiff. But at the same time, I was at that point where I'm like, come on, let's just talk about this. I'm just explaining something to you, and you're getting defensive with me, and it's not necessary. Why are you doing this? I had to stand up for myself. But we don't want to use that, or abuse that, should I say, in such a way that it just goes over the line and blows up all out of proportion. So, what's the phrase that we should conclude with today? It's the one I mentioned earlier, and that is, inner peace is the new success. You got to find a way to find your inner peace so that people don't get your goat. Am I right? What do you think about that? Love to hear your comments, of course. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. And if you'd like to leave a comment, then you can do so by posting it in the comment boxes below. And I'd like to invite you to join the Coffee Break channel and continue the conversation as it happens. I just sort of talk freely about what's going on, what I'm experiencing, what I'm observing. Sometimes I have story time, and I am thinking about some new things that we can do just for fun on the coffee break, because not every coffee break has to be sitting down and just gab, 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 right? You know, if you have a coffee break, sometimes you go do something just to clear your head and get physical, or get a little exercise, fresh air or something. So we'll find some other things to talk about or to do on future upcoming episodes of the Coffee Break. But I'd like to invite you to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes up. And hey, if you like this video and it touched you in some way and you want to share it, please do so, but give me a thumbs up. And that's it for today, guys. I will see you next time. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you'll see me right here on the channel. So we'll talk about something, and we'll just think out loud and talk out loud together. Until then, y'all have a great day and a wonderful weekend, all right? See you later. Bye-bye.